The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to the only show bringing phenomenal debates to your airwaves, the Great Debaters Contest. This is our Kiambu edition. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok. We have our host school, Loreto Limuru versus Kabare girls. Their motion is the KDF presence in Somalia is doing more harm than good. Mariam, what do you think on the motion?
I think the debaters are best suited to answer that question. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
KDF presence in Somalia has caused more harm than good. Proposing the motion, Daniela Chebet, Loreto High School, Limuru. We may all think it's obvious, but what is KDF? It comprises of the Army, Navy, and then Kenyan Air Force. And what is their role? It is to protect us against external forces. Why are they in Somalia? These people are in Somalia because of these 3 main objectives. 1, for the security of the people and of our tourists. In 2010, this KDF went to Somalia because early that year, 2 tourists and many others, I'll give an example of 2, who were killed in Lamu, both Britons. Then the second reason is because of piracy. Third reason is because many people are being recruited to Al-Shabaab, our own citizens, on the basis of being given more money than what they're actually being paid in the country, and on the basis of religion. We all know that there's no religion which preaches death. Have these objectives been achieved? Yes, some of them. One being piracy. The last ship that was hijacked in Kenya was in 2012. This is actually proven by the International Maritime Bureau. And our tourism sector is doing good. Hadn't this enough victories to help us remove our Kenyan Defense Forces from Somalia? Yes, we've achieved it. Why shouldn't we remove our Kenyan Defense Forces from Somalia? Let me take you back in 1991, during the Black Hawk Dawn, when US sent its troops to Somalia to fight 2 leaders who were staging wars in Somalia. It was a fight that was supposed to take 45 minutes, but it ended up taking 15 hours. Why? Because the hunters, the USA, turned hunted. They ended up losing 18 of their soldiers, 73 injured, and their pilot was actually abducted. Let me bring to your attention that USA is a veto power. They have nuclear power. And let me bring you back home to Kenya, a developing country which has no veto power, which has no nuclear power. And we're still insisting on keeping our KDF forces in Somalia. Haven't we had enough cases and attacks when our own soldiers have been killed? The Mpeketoni attack. 180 troops of our soldiers were killed. This is not even half of the number of the soldiers who have died in this battle so far. And you still want to tell me that we should keep our KDF soldiers in Somalia? Prove me wrong.
Kabare girls, we'll hear your opening statements. You have 3 minutes.
Kenya Defense Forces, whose one of the vital roles is to protect our country. So I am yet to understand how their presence in Somalia is causing us harm. Now, as much as I say to hate this, let us swallow the bitter truth. Kenya is a country that is constantly in need of help. We are always borrowing money to build that, to do this. Where will our country be without foreign help? Where? Then, we are not eligible to being helped if we ourselves cannot help our neighbors in Somalia who are suffering. Really, would you help someone who cannot extend a hand and help a person in need? No. If we can't help, then we should not be helped when we ask for it. Now, we know of Operation Linda Nchi. It has brought the Kenyans together. It has promoted feelings of patriotism into our hearts. It has brought Kenya and so many other countries, African countries together, not forgetting Kenya, Uganda, Somalia, Tanzania, Malawi. So many countries have come together, leading about to the formation of the AMISOM, the African mission to Somalia. Isn't that a good thing? Haven't we united our once-parted Africa? Then, our presence in Somalia has really brought so much good than it has brought harm. Now, aren't we humans? Our fellow brothers and sisters are suffering. Don't you feel it? Even if they are not from your religion, even if they are not relatives of yours, can't you feel it? This is human blood that is being poured. You may not know them. You may not even know. You may not feel it, but I do. This is human blood that is being spilled. We are humans. Have some humanity. Let our Kenyan soldiers go and help our fellow country in need. Because today, they are in need. Tomorrow, we will be the ones in need. We are Africans. And being an Africa is all about living in love, peace, and unity. Thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals now, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
Easter Kerubo Loreto Limuru, proposing KDF soldiers in Somalia has done more harm than good. They are in need. We need to help them. They don't want us there. In November 2015, the Somalia parliament passed it that they want the Kenyan government to withdraw the forces from Somalia. They are not in need. They've decided that we shouldn't be there. Why are we overstaying our stay? Calling to humanity. Let me tell you the number of people who've died. From 2008 to 2015, Kenya has experienced 340 terrorist attacks by local and international perpetrators. 986 deaths, over 1,520 injuries have happened, and 89% of attacks, and 88% of deaths, and 95% of injuries ever since we decided to go to Somalia. Let's appeal to our humanity. Let's withdraw from Somalia. Let's save the people who are yet to die because of these attacks. Kenya has allocated a 26 billion increase on the Ministry of Defense in the 2015-2016 budget. This is because of the war in Somalia. It's costing us money. We need this money in our country. The KDF soldiers are paid by AMISOM 84,296 per month allowance. They are compensated 4 million to a family if you lose a KDF soldier in Somalia. Can we put a price tag on a person? Tell me how much you are worth. 4 million, how will it help me when I've lost a son, when I've lost a daughter, when I've lost a father, when I've lost a mother, when I've lost a child? How will it help me? 4 million shillings, put a price tag on your name, put a price tag on your head, 4 million shillings. How will that compensate for me? Do you remember when in Kikuyu campus, University of Nairobi, people jumped? Let me tell you what happened. An underground cable busted. People jumped thinking it was a terrorist attack. In Strathmore, there was a terrorist drill. People started running around, hundreds were injured, 1 person died. This is the anxiety that's here. This is the anxiety that's in our bodies. This is the anxiety that's harboring in Kenya. In our schools, CCTVs have been installed. Why? They want to curb terrorism in our schools. They are worried sick about our safety. Our parents cannot have a good night's sleep because they don't know when we're coming to school. Personally, I travel all the way from Kisumu to here Limuru. The roads do not even worry my parents. It's the bus stations I use. They're worried, how is my daughter going to be? This is the anxiety that has gripped Kenya. Let's withdraw our terrorism. Let's protect people who want to be protected. Let's protect Kenyans.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to give your rebuttal.
Okay. First and foremost, my fellow learned friends, it is so sad and so unfortunate that this you don't know, and I seek to make you know. According to the ranking of the global firepower military, the Kenya Defense Forces, my dear friends, is ranked 46. And nobody convinces me, nobody makes me believe that a country whose military force is ranked 46 is a weak country. And after all, disability is not inability. My friends, about the drill in Strathmore, well, the drill in KU was good, it worked. But the one in Strathmore, okay, too bad. Why? Because it showed us Kenyans that we need such more drills. Why? Because our security is in danger. We need to do this more and more times. Why? Because we want to be prepared for any such attack. On to my point. Wahome Masi Washera on stage, Kabare Girls. Well, I'm talking about psychological satisfaction. Who in this room is fearing that any time from now there could be an attack? Who? Oh, well, I think I'm very satisfied psychologically. Why? Because I know somebody out there is risking their life because of me. Somebody out there is risking their life so that I can live. And think of this. How did you feel when you were admitted in your school in Form 1 and the first thing was done? You were given a program of the school. You were taken around the school and you were showed how beautiful the school is. Think of this person. If the Kenya Defense Forces are not in Somalia, and the first thing they do, okay, you, in this case, the first thing you do when you get to school, you first showed drills. Drills are carried out to show you how to operate in case of an attack. That doesn't please me, not at all. On to my second point. The Kenya Defense Forces being in Somalia has really weakened the militias. Why? Because the first time we heard about the Kismayo attack, this attack led to the decline of the militia group. There were divisions. They fighted among themselves because of succession wrangles. And my dear people, this was an advantage to Kenya because one man's meat is another man's poison. When there were these succession wrangles, they fighted among themselves. Some even had to withdraw. They came back. They reformed. They told us how bad the terrorism group was. Quite. As I finish, a cobbler will mend a shoe no matter how dirty or torn it is. A doctor will treat a wound no matter how smelly it is. Then our soldiers, they took up the task. They shall do it no matter how rough it becomes. Thank you.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
The proposition have been asked, would it not be cowardice for the KDF to retreat from Somalia now? And the opposition have been asked, given that the AU constitution states that when AMISOM soldiers are deployed in a given country, its neighbors' soldiers should not be in the country at the time. How come we are still in Somalia and we still have KDF presence in Somalia? We'll have them respond now. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Daniela Gadhiri, Loreto High School, Limuru, here to propose the motion that the presence of KDF forces in Somalia has done more harm than good. Now, wouldn't it be an act of cowardice for us to retreat from Somalia? The USA forces had actually gone to Somalia to arrest 2 warlords. Mark you, USA has veto power, they have nuclear power, but after the defeat and the loss of only 18 men, they were like, no, we've had enough, we're done, and they left. So who are we? It is said that it is the mark of a wise man to assess a situation and accept defeat where applicable. I believe as Kenya we're a wise nation, are we not? Shan't we exercise wisdom in this thing about the KDF? We should. There are so many other ways for us to enhance security in our country. First, we have focused so much on protecting Somalians, we've forgotten about our own borders. How many cases are there of people sneaking into the country through illegal papers, through bribery, only to come and commit acts of terrorism and violence? How many? There are very many. Instead of putting force, manpower in Somalia, we should deploy these people to our borders to protect us, as is their job. They're the Kenya Defense Forces, not the Somalia Defense Forces. Adding on to that, a man who is part of the Al-Shabaab told BBC News that he only accepted because of money. Actually, and I will quote him, he said that it was all about the money. I was jobless. As a country, we are spending so much money on funding people to go and protect people where they are considered as outcasts. And actually, the parliament of Somalia did not even want them there in the first place. They wanted them to leave. This money could be used to make opportunities for our youth so that they have work, that they cannot be swayed into doing things to do with violence, robberies, terrorism. Won't that increase security in our country? It will. Mark you, at this time of doing this, we should have secured our borders by then. Then after our house is in order, and as a country we are stable, we don't have no corruption, we have secure borders, we have employed youth, then now we can worry about other people. Isn't that true? It is. As a matter of fact, the KDF forces, the people of the KDF forces in Somalia have gotten so comfortable, they're carrying out businesses. A study carried out by the Journalism for Justice actually stated that the KDF forces are working with the terrorists to smuggle sugar into Kenya. So now they know they're so comfortable there, they even have businesses. As in Yani, they're that comfortable in Somalia. Do we want that? No. They should be here protecting us. Therefore, join me in saying that they should come back home and protect their boundaries instead of going to involve themselves in other people's businesses. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Well. I first, by answering your question, you asked why our forces still in Somalia, and here I answer you. Somalia is our neighbor. Maybe we should not be there, yes, but we made an agreement that we should be helping them. And as long as that agreement is not broken, it is in our right place to be there. And then the Al-Shabaab affects us as much as they affect those living in Somalia. Loreto Christine Kabare girls here to oppose the motion. Let's first look at our tourism sector. How did all these things start? Some time back, a Briton was attacked, a tourist. After some time, the wife to that Briton. After some time, a Spanish. And I think by that time, we had enough. The tourist sector was going down. Why? The Western countries were like, no tourists should be coming to Kenya. It is insecure. So our government took it upon themselves. Tourism is very key in our country. We earn foreign exchange. I can say we are here because of that tourism. And so after taking the action of taking our soldiers there, we are coming up slowly by slowly. True, choices have consequences. And what we are doing by having our soldiers there is trying to curb those consequences at a time. Maybe they'll still be there, but we're rising up to the challenge. I believe we are a strong country. Our soldiers have liberated some of the towns in Somalia. For example, Kismayu. And the Al-Shabaab stopped doing what they are doing. At least it went down, even if it did not stop. So the presence there is really helping us to come up. It's really bringing security and order in the both countries. We have a refugee camp in our country. People fleeing from Somalia to come back. Imagine if our soldiers are still there, doing their work as they should. There'll be peace in that country. Nobody will be fleeing from Somalia coming to Kenya. Our resources will not be strained. We'll still be at peace. We'll still be able to serve other Kenyans who cannot help themselves other than helping others from another country. But true, to oppose this motion, our soldiers should remain there, not for the benefit of anybody else, but for the good of East Africa, for the good of Africa, and for the good of the whole world. Remember that the more they stay there, the more secure we are. We are not trying to fight from here. We are doing it from the roots. We want to eat that challenge from where it started, not from where it is moving to. Those are our KDF soldiers. But even if they move underground, they're still moving forward to the sea. The river still moves to the sea. And as Kenyans, we're still moving to our victory. We will win the battle no matter what. Any soldier watching me, keep up your spirit. Don't back down. Thank you.
We'll hear final statements now. Loreto Limuru, you have 1 minute.
It has reached a time that we should remove our KDF soldiers from Somalia. I mean, haven't we given you enough reasons why we should remove them? Enough deaths, have been done already. Enough killings, enough losses in our economy as a country. We are funding these people using 200 million every month. This could be put in other sectors, such as the education sector, or in the health sector to improve our health as Kenyans. It has reached the time, it has reached the hour, it has reached the second when we should remove these soldiers and come back to make them come back to the country and secure us from inside, rather than going to help other people solve their own problems when our own problems remain unsolved. Daniela Chebet, Loreto High School, Limuru.
Opposition, you have 1 minute as well.
Fear is the beginning of failure. If I fear my exam in October, I will not succeed. If our soldiers withdraw from Somalia, it is a clear indication we are fearing, and that means we are going to fail. My opponents mentioned about sugar and charcoal. How true is that? I believe it's just a hearsay. And could you talk that about the soldiers who've given their lives to ensure you're safe? Could you? It is true that our soldiers being there are helping us a lot. Look at it this way. The Al-Shabaab have decided to give us a raw deal. If we are a true country, we should take up the challenge. Tit for tat is a fair game. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. They give us salt, we give them vinegar. Our soldiers, as I said, keep it up.
The Danielas, I want to address you with East George. Very good way to start up the motion from Daniela. I don't know, I should call you Daniela 1, eh? Okay. I like the emotional appeal you brought in. And I think it came across all through the three of you. You engaged us emotionally, and we could feel the pain and why we need to come back, you know, because of the harm that has been caused by our presence in Somalia. That was very good. I like the history and the emotional appeal brought in by Daniela. We come to East George, and I think this is amazing. I mean, you come and pick up and even put it on a higher note. I think you're the one who taught me some other time about collectivism, is it? Yes, that was very nice. Good rebuttals and good emotional appeal as well. However, I wanted to just request you to cite your sources every time you give us the facts in terms of the numbers and everything. Tell us where you got them from. That was very good. Daniela, 2. I wrote soft but tough. Good speaker as well. I think there was no mistake I could point out. However, don't say as in Yani. You know, I think that was the only thing I pointed at, but that was good. I think you were so much carried into the motion that you even spoke in your best of language.
Kabare girls, Anne, Mercy, and Deritu. And I'll start with Deritu because you're the one who caught my attention. And I love your emphasis on tourism. You said that Kenya, we rely a lot on tourism. And were it not for tourism, then we won't be here. And therefore, we need KDF to be in Somalia, because they're doing some good job in protecting us. That was commendable. And I also love the analogy of a river, definitely borrowed from Margaret Ogola's book, if I'm not wrong. And the aspect of security, and also you made mention of the spades of attack. Awesome presentation. I love your voice, I love your confidence and your stage presence. The same applies to Mercy. I love the fact that you debate with attitude, but the challenge here is content. I think if you worked slightly well with Deritu and build so that Deritu can take over from you, it could have been commendable. The same applies to Anne, very good debater, but you need to work a lot. Also, some of the issues raised, you know, the aspect of help. If you don't help, you will not be helped. I thought that was a bit weak unless it was based on some substantial argument or foundation, then it could have worked. Nonetheless, fair debate.
After a heated debate, the results are just the cherry on the top, right? Kabare girls, you were awarded 69%. Please give them a round of applause. Loreto Girls High School, Limuru, you were awarded 74%. You are our winners for the debate.
Thank you, audience. Bravo to both teams on stage, to Kabare Girls and to Loreto Limuru. Of course, congratulations to Loreto Limuru for taking the day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and do keep watching. Help the conversation go on online, on Twitter and on Facebook. And of course, keep watching more clips on YouTube. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yombok. See you next region.